Hello. Are we online? Are we on? Let's check. Yes, we're live. Alright, I'm choosing to live stream. I can't make a recorded video because my computer crashed and I don't have my video editing software installed on this computer. So, gotta go live. Alright, so we are working on backgrounds today. I'm going to turn the words off just to help. Alright, so you can see here I've kind of inked in a background, and this is part of the process. I'll show you my process is do a green screen background, most backgrounds, and then come back in later, do a little bit of an light ink background, and then color it and be done with it. All right, so I've got the inking down. Now I'm just going to color it. And I think I'll end up kind of playing around with some colors. I like to try to use colors and what's happening in the story. Try to incorporate that into the color scheme a little bit. This is Tales from the Crypt Keeper 10. The story is Babysitters Are for Babies. And you can see this is the babysitter right here and two girls who are being sat. Alright, so we'll get the carpet down. Let's get a bigger brush. Otherwise it'll take forever. Okay. The paint bucket. Alright. I'm going to go into the other page. I was thinking on this live stream, I plan on coloring this background panel up here, and then I'll start with this panel down there. I'll ink in the background, and that will be it for this video. I didn't close my studio door, so you might hear some background noises. Okay, here we go. First, I'm just going to pretty much get down the basics, and then I'll mess with it. Have some fun with it. Actually, I might change this ink because it looks like the door is open. And I don't want it to look open. I want it to look closed. But luckily, I've got my background inks on a separate layer, which makes it easy to just work on those. Oh, we've got some people in the chat. Hey. Try typing hey. All right. So let's kind of fix this inking over here because it looks pretty bad. Sloppy. Okay, here we go. Actually, let's just go like Go real light. Spent way too much time inking this little door frame. Okay, moving on after this. Okay, that's fine. Oh, pen's running away from me. I'm gonna try to put this one on Amazon, the Kindle store, and Gumroad, and I don't know if I'll be able to put it on PayPal just by itself for a while, because I usually run into trouble if I do that. There's not a whole lot of ways to do it, online transactions, without PayPal that I know of. PayPal is sort of the way to do business online. Boom, boom. All right, so I'm gonna get this door back here a different color. Just a slightly different hue. Actually, that's a little too desaturated. It doesn't look right. Let's turn up this saturation. All right. All right, now we're going to change the ceiling. I would think it would be kind of like a white. Most ceilings are white, right? Bank transfer. I guess you could do that, yeah. All right. So now that I've got it all kind of flat colored in, the nice thing about doing it in this method is that now I can select the entire background and apply like a gradient filter. And I usually try to do like a multiply layer. So we can put a multiply layer right here. We can do a gradient in the background and kind of add atmosphere to the whole scene. And so when we put the words back up here, kind of ties everything together, makes the foreground kind of pop out. All right, so now I'm going to give the carpet some texture. All right, let's see here. This is a good texture brush for it, maybe. I think this brush is used for mostly for like trees, and kind of gives like a landscape texture. All right. I'm going to do the same thing with that multiply layer over on this side. I'll show you how I do that. It's a little, since I did have a little bit of background already in there, it's not as easy. Oops. Must be a white. Okay, so I got it all selected now. Move up to the multiply layer. You know, I'd like to do some interesting shading on this back corner under the tree. So I'm going to grab this brush and trying to give the color scheme, try not to keep it feeling too comfortable, trying to do it a little bit odd and something quite doesn't feel relaxing about it. So that's what I'm going for. Kind of like an outdated color scheme here. I think I'm not going to go ahead and I think I'm just going to leave that background flat colored. I'm not going to give it any kind of shading or anything. I think that'll help it feel like it's out of focus. But I will do the ground outside slightly different. There we go. Let's see. When you walk outside, there's probably a strip. That's a little too bright though. And I don't have any shadow coming from her, so I'm wondering if I need to have a shadow to help it feel connected. But then I'm going to end up doing a shadow on the door, but it would definitely add some interest. So I think I'll do that. We'll just do a quick... I'm going to do the shadow on a different layer because I don't know how this is going to look and I'm going to do it real fast. Here we go. Shadow time. All right. Actually, that shouldn't be. All right, now we're going to select the door, add a little bit more of the multiply. Oop, see it. Selected this down here too. All right. That shadow feels a little strong to me. I'm gonna dial it down. But we can do that since it's on a different layer. There we go. All right. Turn the words off again. Okay. I'm happy with that, so we're moving on. Okay, so we're going down to the green screen layer. I've got to figure out what background this is. I think it'll be a different background than here. Like this is the entryway. And this, I don't know, it could be the entryway or it could be the girl's room. I feel like you do entryway in this one and then the girl's room in this one, being like they brought the dress into the entryway and they've journeyed into a bedroom for this one. I think that'll work, as opposed to just cutting hard cut. All right, yeah, so this will be the entryway, pretty much the same background. So let's get a 4 ink. And I'm just going to lightly sketch out what we're going to be doing. I'll use this layer since it's, well, might as well just use the real ink layer. I might get it right the first time. All right, so let's start with the floor, like the floorboard. Get the horizon line. Be right about here. If we do there, it makes the kids feel smaller. Exposed. Yeah, I like that because it kind of flows in, helps with the flow of the page. All right, so we'll have kind of like a double angle over here. We'll have the bush. Maybe this is the door. Is this the bush? The bush will be right here. What'll this be? So we'll have a lot of floor, a lot of floor in this. Kind of need a foreground element, even though I don't know what that would be. No, that's kind of cheap. It's too repetitive too. All right, we'll just have the floor down here. And we could have a picture kind of wall art up here. It's crooked. I kind of like that it's crooked. What would you have under a picture like that? Let me see if we have dialog box. Yeah, I should probably not turn the dialog boxes off because then I can't figure out where I'm going with it. I don't want to just, I want that to be the focus. So, that's really not turning out good. Oh, what am I doing? Had you submitted the idea for the story about like the vaccination, like a problem with vaccinations that causes regression or something like to that effect? I think I got 2, maybe 3 suggestions sent in about kind of like vaccinations having to deal with the current crisis, and it was very tempting to go with one of those. I think that would have been fun to do. I'm realizing that it's not a great thing to be doing a comic during quarantine. I'm still having to, just quarantine because of my health. The risk factors are really there for me. So I have to pretty much be on house arrest. I don't get out much at all. Even before quarantine, I didn't get out too much, but now I just really don't get out. And it's really hard when you stress for a deadline and you just work constantly on it, like live behind your computer screen. It's not mentally a great thing to be doing. It's kind of hard, and it's not a fun thing. Start like I would rather I could do it much easier when I can escape and get out of the house and leave the comic at the house and go away and do something else. But whenever you're quarantined to your house and you've got like every day scheduled from 9 to 5 and then at night working on the comic too, it just becomes like overwhelming mentally. All right, let's see. Oh, hello from Mexico. Yeah, we are going to be doing another Willy Wonka. I'll work on the next Willy Wonka comic as soon as I get done with Tales from the Crypt Keeper 10, which I'm working on now. Let's see. That should be probably in April. I was saying like April 1st might be when I start on the next Wonka comic. March 1st is when I'll be doing the next sketch request contest, which is held on Patreon and my DeviantArt. And I also post all the stuff on Twitter. Yeah, this whole virus situation is just dragging out way too long. I'm ready to be done with it. I feel like a lot of people feel that same way and they just like, you know what, I don't care anymore. But I don't have the luxury of being able to just be like, I don't care. If I get it, I get it. All right, so I'm going to do like a dark gold or something for this lamp back here. That might be too dark right there. Yeah, that sticks out like a sore thumb. Whoops. Let's try lightening it up. Saturating it a little bit more. What's something that really, a color that really wouldn't go there? Kind of like that avocado, retro. Something green. There we go. A little bit lighter. Could go less saturated. I think I need to erase the ink on that a little bit more. It's sticking out. Okay. Tales from the Crypt Keeper deals with short stories. It's kind of a spoof of the Tales from the Crypt Keeper. Only there's, diaper content involved. And it's more of just like a little dipping my toes into the horror genre and scary stories, scary artwork and ideas. And that's what I love about the series. All right, so I do really like the short story aspect of it, of getting to cycle through stories fast and not like having to commit to characters or storylines, but just doing something new and fresh every time the comic comes around. I really enjoy getting to go through the story contest as well. Let's see. What's an off-putting color? This might be good for the color scheme. No, that looks like the sky hue. Something unnatural. Well, that's a difficult one because I don't want to get it too dark because then it's going to stick out. All right, let's change the hue on this. Let's get it a little bit darker. Okay. My history of my famous. So I think your question is tell you my history of how I got famous. And I don't even know if I'm not really feeling like I'm famous, but I do feel like I have a niche following. A big niche following. Yeah. All right. Let's go a little bit more yellow. So I don't know. I guess I've always been an artist. I started drawing comics like 10 years ago when I had a run-in with I don't know. I can't really give out a lot of my history without getting into a lot of specifics that I'm not really going to get into on this video. But basically worked as a Starbucks barista part-time, and on the side worked on comics and commissions, and just grew. All right, let's see here. There we go. All right. I went to college for painting. I got a bachelor's of fine art in painting. And sort of never had an interest in comics until one day when I picked up a book in the library. I was going through a big, scary problem with my health. And the How to Draw a Manga book, I don't know, like suddenly my mind opened up and I had all these ideas of for stories that I wanted to draw. And that's when I was like, I want to become a comic artist. And it was just like a switch turned on and it never turned off. And I kind of think that's how you have to be whenever you want to be like an artist or a comic artist or any kind of, like drawing artist, where you have to have an incredible passion for it. Because if you don't, you won't continue with it. Because there's fierce competition, I guess. And it just has to be what you want to do. Okay. Kind of thinking I might do a portrait of their family up here with a weird, like, purple background. Maybe it'll be... I'll have to think... I'm going to come back to this painting. And, I said I was actually only going to do the inking on this wall for this video, but I'm actually... I've actually gotten into doing the entire coloring of it. We'll do some shadow on the ground, and that'll help feel like... get something else going on in this in this background. Because this background is pretty minimal. But maybe that's a good thing. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do the gradient tool. Quickly put a gradient on, but I've got to be careful because that's a very common color back here. Alright, so now we're going to give it a little bit of texture so it's not a solid gradient color looking thing. It looks real cheap and so let's go to a kind of like a reddish. Alright, now we're going to go back to an eraser. I'll use the kind of like this eraser to give it a little bit of a plush feel. Okay, so I can pull a multiply layer on here now. Let's make it a little smaller, a little less of a gradient texture. That doesn't feel right. Let's undo all that. Okay. I probably should have lowered everything on this panel, but I think I kept it high for the workflow, the eye flow on the page. Whenever you're reading this page, your eye comes right across here and it walks into the room with that girl. And I think that's why I like that. Okay. So we're going to now do the multiplying of the background back there. Let's zoom in. We've got a happy tree back here. And it doesn't feel too happy. That's a good thing. All right. So let's get the multiply layer. Oh, we got too much selected. Okay. So the multiply layer, let's get it something a little more red. It's a little too pinky. And we will light the room from the base to kind of give it a scary feeling. Now the tree has a shadow on the wall, and everything's starting to feel connected. Okay. All right, I think that's going to be it for the background. You know, later I'm going to come in, I'm going to draw in like a family portrait or something. I'm going to think about what I want this painting to be. Give it a little thought, and that'll surprise you in the comic when you read it. We don't know what should go there, but something to give it a little bit of a horror vibe. I might add a little Patreon post about that little painting. See if anyone else has an opinion about what would be a good idea. You know, if it wasn't two little girls, like a hunting photo would be fun, where they're like holding up a dead animal. I guess that would be super creepy if it was like one of the two girls, because it kind of feels like they're in that pose right there in that panel. It looks like they're kind of holding up their trophy, like their kill. Yeah, so I'm going to do a Patreon post about what should be in this painting back here. And it'll be fun to figure out what to put there. At first I was thinking a portrait of the family, but now I'm thinking that might be a little too boring. I want it to be something exciting, but there's not much space to do much back there, so it's got to be pretty simple. All right, so moving on to the next panel. Let's see something in the chat. Carnal in any country in the world. See your content. I'm not sure that translated right. And if they do not understand it in any way they see it. I don't understand why you put diapers. Sometimes even ask me why they liked it. I don't understand that comment. The ABDL, I guess, is the best way to describe it, is the community out there, and that's kind of what this comic series is you'd have to understand that community to understand the comic, I guess. All right, so this is going to be their bedroom. Let's see. I'm thinking of, let's do something like that. Can't be too angled because. All right. Now I think I'll do like the closet back here. The closet door is kind of halfway open so that you can see they took something out of their closet. Nappies. I like the word nappies better. It's not so harsh of a word. All right. So the closet. Let's zoom in here. Whoops. Oh, I'm on the color layer, so that would be why. Yeah, I mean, I could do like a mainstream comic that is just a horror one. It doesn't have diapers or nappies. It doesn't have any regression or that. It could just be a horror story, but I've never, since getting big with the audience I have, I've never had any. I've never had the desire to do a normal comic. If I wanted to do normal comics, I would have quit and joined a major publisher by now, or would have tried to. Shoot, I am doing it again. There's been times where I'm on the wrong layer again. Okay. If you undo work or something like that, it jumps you back up to the previous layer that you were working on, even if you had selected a new layer. So that trips me up sometimes. Okay, let's see. That looks wrong. Okay, there we go. The perspective on that is not right. Okay, let's try that again. All right, so this is going to be kind of like black. All right, so I'm going to do like a crosshatch kind of thing. All right, so I'm probably going to do like the classic, you know how there's like this slats closet doors, like the closet doors from, what was it, Jason? Was it Jason who attacked the girl in the closet? You can kind of see through the slats in the Those are good kinds of doors to draw in comics because of the kind of like the pattern. Yeah, let's do that one sweep. All right. So I think it would go all the way to the floor. There would not be a, whoops. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and change the color back here because that's messing me up. All right, so now we got the pattern going on. It's a fairly empty room for a little girl's room, if it is the little girl's room. I don't know if it is, though. It could be the... Maybe we should have a bed or something right here. I need to go down to the 4. Oops. All right, so we'll do like a light colored bed sheet, and it'll kind of throw in like a ghost kind of a feel. Well, thank you for dropping by, Pablo's friends. All right, so we are almost done with this. We're going to change the color of this panel's background. It was the green screen technique that I do, so we got to pick a color. So what color? Nothing too strong, kind of a neutral. I think we'll probably stay with the yellow, kind of that harsh yellow. Very, like a very dated yellow. Like it's just barely on the wrong side of yellow. A sickly yellow. Wonder what this kind of a brown was going to look like over here. If it was the girls' room, I probably would have made this like pink or something. Probably want to do something just a little bit lighter, like it's for the carpet. And maybe we'll go back to the wall yellow down here. So something does feel kind of Let's turn the speech bubbles off. Get a good feel for just the colors. Oh my gosh, I think the microphone is picking up the rain outside. Do you hear the rain? That's cool. That's a really good microphone. Wow. Okay, so let's see. I kind of like it darker. I'm pretty sure this yellow is the color of the yellow that was in my bedroom as a kid when we bought the house. It was so terrible. And this is almost the color of the carpet. It was a little more golden. Let's see what that looks like. It's very retro. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm being boring. I always feel like I'm not exciting enough on my live streams. But since my editing software is not installed yet, I'm going to do that next month. I'll install my editing software so I can get back to actually making videos that are not live streams. They're more concise and whatever. All right, so let's go down just a little bit. Have just a slight... Oh, that's a little too intense of a slight change. That's not slight. That is more slight. That's not actually slight. Dang. It does not take much to be very different. Kind of looks like a locker back there. Okay, so I think maybe I'll do like a... Is that thunder? That's really that's really a terrible design. No one would buy those sheets. All right, so let's do maybe a... this is really bad too. Maybe if it was like a very white. That seems to be the kind of a running theme. It's like white and pastel. Okay, so now we can get like a gradient on this back here. Kind of pull the light source right here around this lamp. Let's see, a darker version of this. I think I want to go pretty harsh with this light. Okay, so now I'm going to add the rest of this background, and I'm going to add a little bit of color to, let's do a little bit of orange, or a little bit of red. Red's a good tint to put on the horror. Also kind of try to tie in the panel beside it. Let's paint these walls red with blood. I watched High Plains Drifter the other night. It's on Amazon Prime this month. I have to go through and rate all... Oh gosh, the dog is scared. That's my dog. It's a big black bear. Okay. So maybe a little less color, a little darker. He's terrified of the thunder. Must have thundered. You're scared, aren't you? Okay. All right. So, get the. Might have our shadow being projected onto the wall. That would be kind of cool. I believe this is the shadow layer. Kind of makes her look a little too close to the door. That's okay. All right. Now, almost done here. Let's put those speech bubbles back up here so we can get a... Yeah, that's nice. It definitely is starting to remind me of the house from the classic, the older version of, what's that scary house movie? The Amityville horror. Where everything just feels super old in that house. Oh, this is going to be light. So we want... Oh, shoot. Okay, here we go. All right, that purple was kind of clashing. I think it's good now. I'm going to do a little bit of a gradient. This dog is freaked out. Okay. Multiply layer. There we go. Oh, shoot. I had more than that selected. Here we go. All right. All right, I think backgrounds are done on this page, which took a little bit longer than I expected, but this was a big background page with important backgrounds, because the first few pages, it's really important to establish the environment, figure out, help the reader get involved with the story, feel like they're there. I'm gonna let's do like a red, like something dangerous is in this closet. Don't know what that was. All right. Okay, wrapping it up. So this is Tales from the Crypt Keeper 10, once again. Pre-order is going to be available on January 31st, which is in 4 days. Sunday is January 31st, and I'll try to have it up early in the day for pre-order. I am working on backgrounds now, so I'm getting real close to being done in the final stretch here. And it'll be 9 pages will be ready. This is Babysitters Are for Babies, and it will be the entire 9-page comic of Babysitters Are for Babies. And it's, that story is one of 2 stories in the issue. So Tales 10 will have 2 stories. Each story is going to be 9 pages, and the first story will be ready for you with pre-order. And you'll get the second story when it's ready if you pre-order. That's just how I've always done it, so nothing new there. If you've done a pre-order with me in the past, you'll just be doing the same thing. No changes there. All right, thanks for stopping by and chatting with me in this live stream. If you have any questions, you can find me on Patreon, find me on DeviantArt, or Twitter.